here too. Gary Weinreich from Murrells, Inlet, has a master's degree in environmental engineering and 52 years of professional experience. After retirement in 2012, he served on the technical committee that created the Murrells Inlet Watershed Improvement Plan in 2013 and was a volunteer water sampler in Murrells Inlet for 10 years. He's on the board of directors for Preserve Murrells Inlet and on the advisory council of Keep It Green. We love listening to Gary. Take it away. Thank you.
You know, I had the honor before my wife Jeannie and I moved down here 20 years ago to serve on the same type of committee for Greenville County. And it was done completely different. It was done with full input from the community, and the county valued that input and rolled it up into their plan. I will tell you straight, this land use report caters to the priorities that do not align with the public input. And that's so sad. And I don't make that statement lightly, but being an engineer, the data supports what I'm telling you. Okay, many of you attended the public input meetings. In fact, hundreds attended, but were denied the opportunity to speak. Okay, and because county officials require that you limit your input to 3x3 sticky notes and dots on a chart. Now that's not listening to the public or public input. Okay, it's hard to read, but this says that old goals remain relevant. Everything on this side is your input that says, hey, the old land use element of the comprehensive plan, all the goals still remain relevant. There was 6 that said they're no longer relative. So, like most communities, we should just be tweaking the old, not creating a completely, new plan that's nobody understands. It was the county's responsibility to take the badly outdated zoning that was expressed in 2007 and update the zoning. Did I say that right? Take the comprehensive plan in 2007 and update the zoning to match it. That's what the state law requires. All right? They failed to do that. Okay? Bob Anderson had a proposal to do just that, and he got no support from his fellow councilors for it. I mean, that's unbelievable. So what's happened? Traffic, pollution, flooding, loss of wildlife, overcrowding, and decrease in public safety are just a few of the results of their inaction, not to mention gentrification in our minority communities and a decrease in our overall general quality of life. So you told him again. I mean, it's the same message time after time. There was a public opinion survey in 2021. Many of you may have answered that online. It was very clear. And then there was the so-called public input sessions in 2023 that basically had the same message. So did the county compile those or present the data from what you told them, even though you were limited to sticky notes? No, they didn't do that. But Preserve Murrells Inlet and Keep It Green recognize the significant value of your comments, and we did. We tabulated them, put them all in a spreadsheet, and I know you can't see this, but let me just tell you, the first, most frequent comment that you gave them was no density increases and no more multifamily where it's not allowed by the current land use element. You said you value parks and natural resources, bike paths, and all of that. And you asked next to provide infrastructure before development. I mean, it only makes sense. How are we going to pay for all that needed improvements if we keep, developing? I talked to some engineers at the Department of Transportation. They say we keep trying to make improvements on the neck, but development is approved so fast it's impossible to keep up. And that's just a sad situation. So, did the county listen to us and he what you were telling them? I would say absolutely not. So, what they proposed in this proposed land use element is higher density across the board, as Cindy showed you. You asked for just the opposite. They are trying to change this land use element to conform to 50-year-old zoning that no longer meets our needs, instead of the other way around. They have completely flip-flopped it, and they're ignoring the impacts of this high-density development on traffic congestion, loss of habitat, stormwater, wildlife, and everything else that makes Waccamaw and Georgetown a unique and special place that we all love. So this map here, the pie chart, takes all of the data from all the public input opportunities. And every time you had a chance to put a dot or a sticky note, we compiled it into spreadsheet. 96% of your input agrees with Keep It Green and PMI's mission and goals and the things that we're working for. The plan itself, for some unknown reason, seems to conform to 4%. Those few dots on the right, and I don't know where they're getting that, that input, but it's a very bad situation when the public does not align with the plans that the elected officials are trying to advance and their consultants. And I don't have an answer for it, but it's shocking to me that the proposed land use element does not even begin to address the impact of all this proposed high density development on water quality, especially in our sensitive shellfish waters. As you know, Polly's Creek has been closed to shellfishing for decades. Murrells Inlet, like Cindy said, is more than a third closed, and the trend looking forward is it's not good. We're losing acres upon acres of wooded area every year, and the area that previously held the pollutants and allowed them to degrade naturally instead of rushing these pollutants into our estuaries. The county's recent stormwater management report, I don't want to be repetitive, but it was over $60 million of projects needed. And instead, if I could have my last photo, what they're proposing is a 42-inch outfall to bring untreated stormwater, those of you familiar with Murrells Inlet, from across 17 bypass to Morse Park, one of our only public access areas on the inlet where people, wade, launch boats, and it just makes no sense. And they're doing that without any evaluation of the impacts of that bacterial-laden water on the shellfish beds or even on human exposure. So what needs to be done, it pains me to say it, but this would be the third time we just send the county back to the drawing board. We did it when the Council of Governments prepared one with no public input. We did it again when a consultant group did the companion corridor study, and until the county starts listening to the input from you, which makes sense, and instead of the 4% goals that they're getting from who knows where, we just need to reject it, because the consequences are very dire. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
This is Dwayne Draper, Chairman of Keep It Green. We would appreciate your continued support of our work to protect and preserve the Waccamaw Neck. Thank you.